Certainly. Let me share a story rooted in Hindu culture that explores the themes of sexuality, self-control, and the sacredness of sexual energy. This story is inspired by ancient Hindu teachings and mythology, which often use symbolic narratives to convey profound truths about life, desire, and spirituality. The story of Shiva and Parvati, the sacred union. In the heart of the Himalayas, where the snow-capped peaks touch the heavens, lived Lord Shiva, the ascetic god of destruction and transformation. Shiva was known for his intense meditation, his mastery over desires, and his ability to channel his sexual energy into spiritual power. He was the embodiment of restraint, often depicted with a serpent around his neck and a third eye that could burn desire into ashes. One day, the goddess Parvati, the daughter of the mountains, sought to marry Shiva. Parvati was the embodiment of divine feminine energy, creative, nurturing, and full of love. She was drawn to Shiva's purity and his ability to transcend worldly desires. However, Shiva, deeply immersed in meditation, was initially indifferent to her advances. Parvati, determined to win Shiva's heart, decided to undergo severe penance. She meditated for years, enduring harsh weather and fasting to prove her devotion. Her tapasya, austerities, moved Shiva, and he finally agreed to marry her. Their union was not just a physical marriage, but a symbolic merging of masculine and feminine energies, Shiva's controlled, ascetic power, and Parvati's creative, nurturing force. The lesson of self-control and sacred sexuality. Shiva and Parvati's relationship is often seen as a metaphor for the balance between desire and restraint. Shiva, though a god, is not devoid of sexuality. However, he represents the ideal of controlling and sublimating sexual energy for higher purposes. His union with Parvati is sacred, representing the harmony of opposites, male and female, asceticism and creativity, destruction and regeneration. In Hindu culture, sex is not seen as something impure or sinful, but as a natural and sacred act when approached with respect and self-control. The concept of brahmacharya, celibacy, or controlled sexuality is highly valued, especially in spiritual practices. It teaches that sexual energy, when harnessed and directed wisely, can lead to spiritual growth and enlightenment. The example of Kamadeva and Shiva. Another story that highlights the theme of controlling desire involves Kamadeva, the god of love and desire. Once, the gods asked Kamadeva to disrupt Shiva's meditation to awaken his desire for Parvati. Kamadeva shot his arrow of desire at Shiva, momentarily breaking his meditation. Enraged, Shiva opened his third eye and reduced Kamadeva to ashes. However, later, Shiva revived Kamadeva, acknowledging the role of desire in the cycle of creation, but also emphasizing the need to master it. This story illustrates that desire, while natural, must be controlled and directed toward higher goals. It is not about suppressing sexuality, but about understanding its power and using it wisely. Atman, with the universal consciousness, Brahman. The Kama Sutra, an ancient text on sexuality, is often misunderstood as merely a manual for physical pleasure. However, it is deeply rooted in the idea of balancing sensual pleasure with emotional and spiritual connection. The concept of Maithuna, sacred intercourse in Tantra, also reflects this idea. It is not about indulgence, but about experiencing the divine through the union of opposites. This perspective elevates sex from a mundane act to a spiritual practice, emphasizing mindfulness, respect, and mutual harmony. Conclusion: the stories of Shiva, Parvati, and Kamadeva teach us that sexuality is a powerful force that can either bind us to the material world or elevate us to spiritual heights. Hindu culture celebrates the originality and sacredness of sex, while emphasizing the importance of self-control and respect. By understanding and mastering our desires, we can transform them into a source of creativity, love, and spiritual growth. This ancient wisdom remains relevant today, reminding us to approach sexuality with mindfulness and reverence, seeing it as a divine gift rather than a mere physical urge.